to your garden, I eat from your tree, I step in your river, and it takes me deep. Your heart is my temple, your tears rinse my feet. I walk out, I'm able to carry your peace. It reminds me of a song that I heard long ago. Maybe I've always known that you were right there. A simple melody playing over and over in my dreams. Somehow out of reach, eluding me until I release. You come close to me when I release, and I let you take the lead when I release. My heart starts to see when I release. When I release, you said, come to my garden, eat from my tree, step in my river, let it take you deep. Your heart is my temple, your tears rinse my feet. You walk out, you're able to carry my peace. It's an ancient sound heard from the ones who came before, and now it's here once more to pierce your soul. A simple melody playing over and over in your streets, like a whirlwind turning things, tearing out the dark. That's where I release, and my heart starts to sing when I release. I let you take the lead when I release. You come close to me when I release. When I release, it's all in your feelings. It's all how I receive your sound. All in your feelings, your emotions, they find me out. It's all in your feelings. It's all how I receive your sound. All in your feelings, your emotions, they find me out. When I let it go, when I let it go, then I let it go. I let it all go now. I let it go. Hey, now I let it go. Whoa, I let it go. Whoa, I let
3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Welcome. We are here, episode 121 of the Young Lion TV podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got a lot to talk about tonight. You're watching Young Lion TV. All right, we're back.
All right.
Yeah, quick break. We're back. The intro is not working right now, so it's all good. We're here. Good. Like I said, 121 of the Young Lion TV podcast. We're in the building, True Sound Studios. We're going to talk about a lot of things tonight. Simone's not here, but I got Jake with me. I got Stan with me.
Yeah. Hello.
And John, and Rachel producing right now. Rachel is off camera, but she's here. She's like, I'm out of this picture tonight. I'm going to be heard and not seen. But yeah, appreciate y'all being here tonight. You know, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on.
I like the legend shirt there.
Yeah, man. You know, I had to represent for the Rasta Bob Marley. You know, revolutionary artist. You know, it's one of the most, you know, musically iconic guys, I feel like. You know, Bob Marley, the way he totally invented like a genre, brought a genre to like the world. Yeah, you know what I mean? It was something that he was a pioneer in that way. You know, we talked about pioneers before, and you know, I see someone like him who did something that nobody else was doing. You know what I mean? He wasn't just following the masses. He did something that was totally never done before, and did it in a way that was authentic. And I think that's why people connected with him and his music, because you could tell it was authentic. You could tell he believed what he said, and he was trying to say something in his music. You know, he was a guy with a message. So
yeah, I not agree with the message all the way, but
yeah, I mean, you know,
but you can take from it.
Exactly. You know, there's a lot of people that have a lot to give as far as like, you know, there's meat there. You know, chew the meat, spit out the bones type thing. You know, I don't believe in the Rastafarian lifestyle. You know what I mean? But I believe in his idea of spreading love and you know, opening people's minds to breaking the chains that are on them through music. You know what I mean? Right. Like that's what he was about, especially later on in his life. You know what I mean?
Right. But just, yeah, I'll leave that alone.
Also the passion too that, you know, was behind it. You could feel it.
Right. And that it was infectious to people. You know what I mean? Like when you go to I was, you know, I never been to a concert, but just seeing the videos, you know, especially that one in was that in South Africa? That one that like they always show the videos from,
right? Where
he looks super high and he's up there just like going in. But no, it's like you could feel it's infectious. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's infectious. And like I said, his music, you know, it was about something. There's something to grab onto in a lot of what he was saying. You know? Mom said, "Hey family." Tiffany said, "Hey guys, what's up?" What's up, y'all? Shout out to everybody who's watching right now. Please hit that like button, hit the share button. Please let people know that we are live right now so that we can keep this algorithm kind of trying to work in our favor. We already got something against us because we say all the trigger words that get you banned, demonetized, knocked ranking down, all those things we say. So the only thing that's going to help us is if you guys help us and you share this, or you hit the like button, or you let people know about it, you comment, you know. Stephanie said, hello. What's up, Steph? Thank you for tuning in. Please hit the like button, hit the share button. And also don't forget, you can support the cause if you want to go to the Patreon, patreon.com/youngliontv. You can support us there and you can sign up, become a member, just donate to the cause, or you can be a monthly subscriber, which is going to unlock a lot of our content that we've been putting up there. There's a couple videos on there, some music, and we got some more stuff coming on there, some exclusive stuff that's going to be Patreon only. Thank you, Steph. She said she shared. Thank you, guys. Also, Yeah, there goes the Patreon right there if you want to subscribe and become a member. I know everyone watching right now is already members, right, Tiff? But we appreciate you guys. Shout out to all the young lions that tune in. We love you guys, and we really appreciate you. And we're trying to do this for the community that we're trying to build here, the culture that we're trying to build here. So, you know, every time we do this, every time we fire up this live stream, it's not always easy every week. Trust me, guys. Like, to do this every week, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of moving pieces, but we're trying to constantly bring it to you guys. You know, everybody that's in this building right now has been deeply dedicated to this and, you know, been super consistent. So we're doing this because we feel like it's necessary. We feel like God is leading us to do this. So, I mean, not that we feel like, we know. So that's what it's about. Also, you know, if you want to support in other ways, we have music, we have merch. If you see the two guys sitting across from me right now, my brothers, they're rocking 2 different Jatan shirts right now. Put them up on screen, John. Bam. Stan has the I think that's that's our best seller right there, the Jatan. You can't tell on the screen, but the name of the shirt is all spelled out in lyrics from our songs. So people really like that shirt. And then Jake has the 20th anniversary shirt because we have been together for 20 years. You can see the merch right there. And then another favorite is the one with little Jakey on there. That's the Back to Life album cover that you can get right there. So if you want to support that way, please, you know, get some T-shirts. And, you know, when people ask you, what's that? Like, oh, you should listen to it because it's, you know, it's got something to say. But yeah, we appreciate you guys. Tia said, hello, good evening. Hope y'all are doing well. We are doing well. Shout out to you. Thank you for watching. Please hit the share button, hit the like button. Yeah, so what else? Anything else? Anything else I'm forgetting?
Business-wise?
Yeah. Oh, if you want to just donate and hit the Cash App, if you want to just send a little meat to the lions, as we like to say. You want to send a couple bites of meat to the lions, you can either hit that right there, or you can just send it to $youngliontv. Super easy, and we definitely appreciate that. We definitely use that to we're always buying, upgrading new equipment, and, you know, trying to grow the quality of what we're bringing to you guys here. So we're consistently working on that. So we appreciate you guys. Again, thank you for tuning in. Ariana said, hey guys, what's up, Ariana? Please hit the share and like button. Thank you very much. And shout out to Moan. We love our brother Moan. He's not here right now, but you know, that's our brother. We love him. He will be back soon. Thank you to John and Rachel for producing tonight. So what's been going on with y'all? How was practice today?
Practice was good. Good. Soccer, you know.
Yeah.
Little.
Was this the first practice?
No, this was the third.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We started last week. Me and you, we had
we did a camp this
whole
week.
Soccer camp this week.
Yeah, man, it was
for
fun.
the kids, or
for kids.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah, in Jamie's town.
In Voorhees. One of you know, Ivan.
Yeah,
so shout out to Ivan.
Shout out to our boy Ivan, our soccer brother. He does a camp along with some other guys, and he just asked us if we could help out. You know.
Oh, okay.
You know, so we were like, yeah, we helped out with we were both with the, like, what was that, 10, 11-year-olds?
Yeah, it was 11 to 14.
Oh, 11 to 14-year-olds,
okay.
yeah. So it was cool. And then he had Jakey in with the 8-year-olds, so.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Shout out to Jakey. He won his tournament.
Yeah, and scored the winning goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like today was the World Cup tournament for all the all the kids that were out there. So Jakey's team won their tournament.
He scored the goal.
Yeah, he was excited.
Yeah.
That's what's
he was shy at first. He's so shy, he didn't want to play the first day.
Yeah.
So Monday, he didn't even play because he thought, for some reason, he thought I was going to be in there. So when he found out he was going with all new people, he was like, hold up.
Yeah.
You know? But, you know, I talked to him. I'm like, you got to face your fears, dude. And so he went the next day, played.
Good. It was funny because the next day he was still like, he needed his brother and sister to be there.
Right.
Like, he didn't want them to be too far.
Right,
and then by the third day, he was like, all right, they good. Like, I'm out here. I'm doing it. Yeah. Yeah. But it was funny, man. But it was good to see him get out there and do his thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's up with you, Stan?
Nothing really. I don't think nothing crazy
Yeah,
that I can think of.
just working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, boxes.
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 Stan's world is boxes, right?
Yeah. The master of boxes. Probably play a mean game of Tetris at this point, boy. All right. So first thing, we gotta talk about what's going on right now over there in the Middle East, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. We were talking about it a little bit beforehand because Jake was like, I really haven't been paying attention. I don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty crazy. Like, I don't really know. Uh-oh. What's that? Is that my camera?
Yeah, it's come back.
Oh, okay. What happened? It wasn't plugged in? Huh? Oh, okay. Yeah, what was I saying?
Afghan.
Oh, yeah,
What's
yeah.
going on?
Because immediately it turns into whose fault is it? This is a political thing. Everyone's jockeying for position on who they can blame it on for an election thing. Like, people are so polarized over it because they know it can affect the 2022 elections, and it just becomes this frenzy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what people need to remember is there's real lives on the line right now. Like, it's not about all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
this
real
has been going on for a while.
Yeah.
It's been 20 years.
Yeah.
You know,
Of-
almost.
of-
So,
Safety, you can say.
It has been 20 years.
yeah.
It's been 20 years, dude. Like,
Yeah.
because, they went in there after 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And this is the 20th year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not that cut and dry.
Mm-hmm.
You can blame Biden, which it's easy to do that. You know, but again, I don't think it's about. We definitely dropped the ball.
Yeah.
As the United States, but we got to look at how we've been handling stuff for a while now.
Yeah.
I did like the way Trump did some of the stuff in the Middle East.
What he was attempting to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was a different way of handling it.
Right.
And it seemed like he was gaining some ground.
Which is another reason why, he had to be completely, demonized constantly.
Right.
It's like,
And
they think about it all the way back to Bush Senior.
Right.
You know what I mean? They had been working on this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I'm not I don't agree with everything Trump does.
Right.
Even I didn't agree with the vaccine.
Yeah.
But with this, I definitely with the Syria, when he dealt with Syria, ISIS,
Mhm.
I liked his approach because it was different. And it just seems like Bush, Obama, Biden, it's the same old thing.
Right.
It's the same politics.
Yeah.
And we get stuff like this,
Mhm.
and kind of goes back to Vietnam.
Yeah, I mean, but that was what he was asked in the press conference was like, is this going to be like Vietnam?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was like, there's no way.
Yeah,
There's
not
no
gonna
way
have
we're not going to see
helicopters
helicopters pulling people
pulling
out of that.
people,
It's exactly what we saw.
Yeah.
Exactly what we saw.
Yeah.
And then more horrific when we were just talking about the people that were trying to jump on the plane that was the C-17 that was, taking off
yeah.
from the airport, and people are literally, trying to get out of there.
Literally
And they're
hanging on.
hanging on to a plane that's what you have to be so afraid to think I'm going to hang on to this plane and it's going to take me to safety.
This is better than taking a chance back there.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, right now it's are we gonna place blame or are we gonna pray for these people?
We gonna
Right.
You know what I mean,
Exactly.
I think that's the bigger issue.
But I think we're in a mind frame right now where it's always about, well, whose fault is it? Who's the
Yeah.
victim here?
Right.
Whose fault is it?
And
Nancy Pelosi makes some statement about, feminism and women's rights, she's trying to push something
Yeah.
in that way. And it's like, come on, yo, this has nothing to do with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, I mean, that's obvious. Like, what she's saying is like, duh.
Right.
Like, you don't even need to say that.
Right.
Like, this is obvious. What are we talking about?
Right.
You know, stop it.
Right.
And that's what it becomes. It becomes a game. How can I pull people into my web of lies?
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, I've seen a lot of people digging into, you know, the less talked about angles on this, like corporate wise. You know, people would label as conspiracy theories, and like, you know, because think about it. After we went into Afghanistan, that's when the opioid epidemic went through the roof, and if you know about like the history of the Taliban in Afghanistan, this is like when they were being funded by the U.S. as like insurgents to protect it against Russia, right?
Right, to fight against Russia.
Fight against Russia. But, you know, one of the things that they were doing was burning all the poppy fields.
Right.
Because, you know, they are totally against heroin, they're against drugs, you know,
Right.
they're totally against using these fields for what they were being used for. So they were like, and I think they were saying like when the Taliban was pushing back then, like the heroin production went down drastically, you know. But then after we went back in there after 9/11, that's when it shot through the roof again, and Afghanistan was supplying like over 80% of the world's heroin at that point. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, people were saying that they were using the U.S. military to guard these poppy fields. It's like, so then you see the pharmaceutical industry, the oxycodone, you know, market go through the roof, and it's like, where are they getting this from? You know.
Once again, big pharma.
You know what I'm saying? So then people are seeing that angle where it's like, okay, now big pharma has billions of dollars being pushed to them through the vaccines. So now it's like, okay, we can give them back this. We don't need that anymore. You know what I mean? It's like that angle that people don't always see, where it's like this is a chess move, like money wise as well. You know what I mean? Because there's a reason why they never wanted to leave. Even though they claimed they were there to train this military, that now we're finding out they're saying they weren't really trained, and that their numbers were like inflated by like crazy amounts. The amount of troops that they were saying they had, you know, and the fact that you leave the way you did and leave all these weapons, you gave them military grade weaponry for free. You didn't burn anything. You didn't, you know, there was no plan for any of that. You know.
And so that's where I'm saying, like, you can't just place blame on even as citizens of the United States,
right?
Like, stop just placing blame on the politicians because we gave them the power,
right?
We gave them the power. We got to be more responsible.
Right.
Like, they're working for us.
Right.
But they're not acting like they work for us. They acting like they're ruling over us.
Right.
Right? Because they're going and
but we're giving them that right.
We're giving them that power.
Right.
Right? You do it. We don't want to have nothing to do with it. You know, and that's not responsible.
Yeah. And that's not what this country's supposed to be.
No. We're supposed to be governing each other.
Right.
You know, we're supposed to be doing it as a collective, and that takes people being responsible. And what you're seeing is, if that's true, what happened, which it looks to be, then that exposes us as a country, and we need to take responsibility for that, not just the politicians. We can't just point the finger like we gave them this power. We put them in place. Of course, you know, there's the other side where there's some stealing of elections.
Yeah.
But
I got a video on that I want to show y'all too. Did you see that one with Gavin Newsom? The Gavin Newsom recall?
Oh, yeah.
That people got caught on film? I will show y'all in a little bit.
So, yeah, there is that side, but it wouldn't even be close if we were really even on that, being responsible.
Yeah.
So.
Yo, Emma said, hello, guys. Hope y'all are doing great. What's up, Emma? Appreciate you, brother.
Emma, haven't seen you.
He's injured, man. Hope you're feeling better, man. We pray that you get healed so you can come back out on the soccer field. Stephanie said Nancy needs to go. Man, a lot. I would say 90% of Congress needs to go.
Yeah.
Like, we have given these people way too much authority, man.
Too much consent. Government by consent of the governed.
Yeah. Yep.
They are failing.
Mom said Biden blamed Trump. Of course he did. That's the game they have to play.
Yeah.
That's the game they have to play. They have no other choice. he can't take responsibility for it. In his speech, there was, one of the I forget who it was. It was like CIA director or somebody that was saying like one of the biggest lies in his speech was that they did everything that they could have done.
Right.
And he was like, we gave them the information that they needed and a plan for how to do this that they would not respond to. They basically ignored it. Yeah. And then a couple days before this happened, he promised that this wouldn't happen. You know what I mean? So they're supposed to have the best intel on all of this, and it's just a failure. I think what it is exposes to a lot of people that this government doesn't do what they claim it does.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not as on top of things as you think.
Yeah.
And the stories that they spin to us are not always true. I want to show y'all, even on the Breakfast Club, I was surprised by this.
Hold on, I just want to say something because we were talking a little bit about stuff at soccer.
Yeah.
Not about that, but just about like the economy, and the inflation.
Yeah.
And then one of the guys was saying, because I kind of made the remark about like what's happened in Venezuela with the inflation.
Yeah, I remember.
And then he was, yeah, but it will never get like that over here. And I'm like, it's not. It doesn't have to get that bad. But the point is, like, this is basically this is America. It won't get that bad. And
Yeah.
it's like it can,
Yeah.
and you can't think that that's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And if we just think we got the most secure and safe country in the world,
That's the illusion.
that's the illusion, and that can be taken away.
Right.
We're only free because we're responsible,
Mm-hmm.
right? Freedom
Is a responsibility.
is a responsibility. You can't just the more you disrespect and dishonor the privilege of freedom, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a privilege,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna lose it,
Right.
and that's what you see.
Shout out to Tarius watching on the Young Lion TV page. He said, "What's up, Jamie? What's up, bro? Thank you for tuning in, man. Make sure you share the video." Marcus Ramser, what's up? Thanks for watching. No, but I wanted to show this clip because I was surprised that like Charlemagne gave somebody from the presidential cabinet the donkey of the day for their response when he was being interviewed about what happened in Afghanistan. And like his whole take threw me for a loop because he was talking about like y'all keep believing these Democrats, like they're like they're your saviors, you know what I mean? Believing every word they say, talking crap on Joe Biden. I was like, wait a minute, you were selling this to everybody
before the election.
You know what I mean? Just because he brought a quote unquote black VP, woman VP, that you're gonna vote for him. Like, you know how many people you sold that to?
Yeah.
But the fact that I think a lot of things are shattering for people. A lot of the illusions and the spells are shattering, because it takes stuff like this. So I just wanted to, I'm not going to play the whole thing because they'll copyright us. So I'm just going to play like the portion where he shows the clip of what the dude said.
Okay.
Presenter.
Oh, crap. Yeah. My bad. All right. Should be up.
Do we have to talk over? Did we ever establish that? I remember last week. Do we have to
If it's
talk
a
over
long
it?
clip, you have to talk over it.
Okay.
But I mean, you can stop, pause, and talk. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So this we don't, because this is a news clip. So
Would you like to hear the question and how it was answered? Let's go to, I don't know what the news report is, but let's go to it.
And there are Americans and Afghan allies who remain there. Will U.S. troops stay until everyone is out, or will they leave?
So I'm not going to comment on hypotheticals. What I'm going to do is stay focused on the task at hand, which is getting as many people.
did you guys catch that?
A hypothetical.
Did you guys catch that? Like, what's this dude's name? I can't even remember.
Is he Pasaki's
He's
replacement?
he's a Biden aide, yeah, because Psaki disappeared when all this went down. She went into
Biden's on
hiding.
vacation.
Biden went into hiding.
Kamala Harris is
She's
can't-
MIA.
Yeah.
No one can find anybody.
Pasaki is left. Now this guy's up. All right.
So let's play this again. Listen to the question and listen to his answer. Her question is very direct.
There are Americans and Afghan allies who remain there. Will U.S. troops stay until everyone is out, or will they leave?
So I'm not going to comment on hypotheticals. What I'm going to do is stay focused on the task at hand, which is getting as many people out as rapidly as possible, and we will.
So the idea that there's people still there that are basically abandoned, and you're asking,
That are Americans.
right? These are American citizens that are there, thousands.
Yeah.
And she's asking if the troops are going to stay until they are all brought out. And somehow he says, I'm not going to focus on hypotheticals.
That's a hypothetical.
What's hypothetical about that?
I guess asking if they're going to leave. Maybe he took that end part. It's like, oh, that's a hypothetical there.
I don't get that. Like, to me, that's just like a weird way to dodge answering that question.
Yeah, it is.
Like, are they going to get people out or not? This is not a joke.
Mm-hmm.
This is real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, can't even answer that. All right, I think that's pretty much it. But let's play a little.
Take
bit.
that day by day.
You can't.
I just don't see how that's a hypothetical. Can I hear it one more time, please? Maybe I'm confused.
And there are Americans and Afghan allies who remain there. Will U.S. troops stay until everyone is out, or will they leave?
So I'm not going to comment on hypotheticals. What I'm going to do is stay focused on the task at hand, which is getting as many people out as rapidly as possible, and we will take that day by day.
You can't.
How is that a hypothetical? You can't commit to getting American troops and the allies that fought with them out after all these years. I mean, he said he's focused on the task. If that was someone from the Trump administration, they would be calling him incompetent, saying he lacked empathy. They would be saying he wasn't fit for the job. I mean,
Where was all this energy
Christ.
before?
You know, it's
Like, this is what we've been saying. Like, it's just the hypocrisy in the media that we try to point out. Like, it's not that the people think like, oh, you're always caping for Trump. No, it's the hypocrisy. It's like when you see that they're always praising one party and always demonizing the other, you feel like, okay, there's got to be some kind of brainwashing going on here. You know what I mean? So the fact that he's pointing that out, you know what I mean, was crazy to me.
Right.
You know, so I just wanted to play that. You can pull that down. But yeah, he goes on. He goes on to talk about like the hypocrisy of it, and like if it was Trump, you know what I mean, and people would be screaming and hollering, you know, and that, you know, all of these people are basically just on teams at this point, you know, and they don't, whatever their team says, they got to defend or back up or, you know, believe in no matter what. Basically the stuff we say all the time,
Right,
you know what I mean? So it was just crazy to see that. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be like the typical caping for Democrats, you know, that you see from a lot of these mainstream media shills. But you know, it was interesting. But yeah, so it's crazy what's going on over there. People keep that in your prayers. My mom said Saki would have answered just like that. That is very true.
I'm going to circle back to that.
Yeah, she would have circled back for real. We'll circle back when we have more information. Okay, what else was I going to show about? Oh, so I don't know what this is. Joe Biden dismisses concerns over images and videos of Afghanistan. Did you guys see this when he was talking to George Stephanopoulos?
I seen clips of that.
I haven't watched it
the whole
yet.
thing.
I wanted to see it, so I figured I'd watch it live, and then we can react. Want to unmute this, Rach?
Cool.
When you look at what's happened over the last week, was it a failure of intelligence, planning, execution, or judgment?
Look, I don't think it was a fair. Look, it was a simple choice, George. When the Taliban, let me put it another way. When you had
This guy cannot
the
talk.
government of Afghanistan, the leader of that government getting in a plane and taking off and going to another country, when you saw the significant collapse of the Afghan troops we had trained, up to 300,000 of them, just leaving their equipment and taking off. That was, that's what happened. That's simply what happened.
But we've all seen the pictures. We've seen those hundreds of people packed into a C-17. We've seen Afghans
That
falling.
was 4 days ago, 5 days ago.
What did you think when you
What?
first saw this picture?
What does that mean?
We have to gain control of it.
Yo, this dude is really.
4
That was.
days ago.
Stop. Why are you asking me that? That was 5 days ago.
5 days ago.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, is your mic cable messed up? Check it. Wiggle it a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty.
You guys can share that one if you need. Yo, that. Like, what?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe. What? This is my first time watching this. That was 4 days ago, 5 days ago?
When he was on vacation.
Right.
At camp.
Right. But see, he's showing you because his mental capacity isn't all there. So he's showing you why he ducked out for 4 days,
Yeah.
hoping that would, you know, no one would ask him those questions 4 days later. You know what I mean?
This is the pride, like, that blinds people. You know, like, you start to live in your own world, and then you make up the decision in your mind. So then when somebody brings that up, you're like, wait, you can't go there.
Right.
Because, and people do this all the time.
They do it.
Like,
They do it.
like, they make up
They have their excuse
the way
already
somebody
ready.
can do something when it, and the thing is, like, if you got to think about why you got to do something, well, you're probably
already wrong. You're
right?
already wrong. If you're in the middle of doing something, you're like, well, if somebody asks me, I'll just justify it because I got this, boom, and then
Right.
this happened, and then boom, I'm good.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So then, and then when somebody asks you, you're like,
how dare you ask me? All right?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So that's like what and that's all pride. You know,
Yep.
that's all pride, and that's what he's doing right now.
Bro, but that's crazy. First of all, even his response to, like, why this happened so badly, it's still a failure on us because you're talking about, like, when you watch the president just, you know, flee the country, and when you watch the generals, like, they were just giving up weapons, like, you know, handing over their weapons, basically. Who trained them? Who spent trillions of dollars of our money and justified it because this has to happen to train them? This was your reason for being there so long. We're training them up to hold off the Taliban.
Yeah, but yet, like, as you said earlier, if they had plans in place that they didn't even take a look at,
Right.
you know, consider, and then they were so quick to leave, it's like, okay,
what were y'all really doing there?
Yeah, you made an investment. Like, what's going on here?
Right.
Because you didn't even try
Yeah.
to back up what you, like.
And he keeps saying up to 300,000 troops, but that number is, like, vastly inflated.
Right. Again, you didn't try to back up your investment that you
Right.
made, that we made as a country.
Right.
We made. You know what I
We
mean?
made, right.
Come on, dude.
And then sacrifice the lives of American soldiers to make. You
Right.
know what I mean?
So then it's like, maybe, isn't that what people do when they feel like, that's like a kid, like, ain't my money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yep.
like, this is Monopoly money.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like, they act like it's not really real.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's just crazy to watch this response. All right, I'm going to play the rest of this just to see real quick.
We have to move this more quickly. We have to move in a way in which we can take control of that airport. And we did.
So you don't think this could have been handled, this actually could have been handled better in any way? No mistakes?
No, I don't think it could have been handled in a way that we're going to go back in hindsight and look, but the idea that somehow there's a way to have gotten out without chaos ensuing, I don't know how that happens. I don't know how that happened.
So for you, that was always priced into the decision?
Yes.
Okay, Joe. Wow.
It was always
Yeah.
priced in.
Well, at least he can't hide from this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty obvious, right? This is what y'all voted for.
Yeah.
Yep.
And his intel is telling them, they out there blaming each other now. Because the intel is like, yeah, we told them 2 weeks ago that this was going to happen.
Yep.
And then they're like, no, we didn't have the intel that, you know, that they took over 40% of the country already.
Right. Yeah. This is crazy, man. All right, so just so people are aware of what's going on over there, if you haven't been paying attention, like, we gotta be in prayer over this stuff, for the troops, even for just, like, what God is doing in that region.
Yeah. For the people of Afghanistan.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I did see something today about, like, people who were detained. Like, I heard there was like a record amount of people who had phones and
hold up real quick. Shout out to P-Say. He's watching. He just put up the 3 cursing angry face emojis. Hey,
I was
man,
talking to P
say what's
earlier.
on your mind, brother. I know you
said-
can't. I know you don't want to. Nah, that's
He's
all
like,
you gonna say.
his boy got him started the other day, and it took him all night to come off of
Oh
it.
man, that's our brother, man. And like, this is someone.
Yeah.
This is someone who sacrificed his life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To go into the Middle East for this country. You know what I mean?
Yeah, almost didn't come back.
Yeah, man. Shout out to P-Say, man. A hero, man.
And that's why, like, these are people's lives you're playing with.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And that's what I don't like how this government treats that.
Yeah.
You can see it. You can see it in the way our president
look at his response.
is responding. It's crazy.
That was 4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah.
How dare you ask me that?
Like,
dude, it was people falling from
Yeah.
4,000 feet in the sky
Trying to
hold on to an airplane.
we're talking
they
about
know the
human
horror.
lives.
Yeah. Like, did y'all see those videos? Insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Yo.
Like, take a chance on the outside of a plane than deal or live under Taliban rule.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But that was 4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah, man. All right, so we're gonna move on a little bit. I do want to show. So I was on Twitter, obviously, but that account lives on TikTok. I was always posting like stuff from TikTok that John shows us. I see a lot of times because of this account where it shows like liberal stuff on TikTok. Because I know John don't see nothing if it's not on TikTok. He's like, that's where I get all my news. But that's the generation, you know what I mean? So this account pulls all that stuff. But so this is in Valley Village, California. 2 women are, let's pull this up. 2 women are being caught on camera. There's no audio. You can keep that out. They're being caught on camera, and what they're doing is they're going into these mailboxes and they're stealing the recall ballots for the Gavin Newsom recall that's going on in California right now. So you were talking about the election stuff.
Yeah.
We'll just call it election funny business, so we don't get banned. But they're literally going through people's mail and leaving out with a pile of recall ballots. You know what I mean?
Saying that Gavin should be recalled #1, and then who he should be
replaced with. Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But this is the game that they play. When you think that everything is just being run, super. There's nothing wrong, dude. Like when you find out what people like Ilhan Omar was doing in Minnesota, like they're paying people. That lady in Texas getting paid money to go around and gather people's ballots. Like she got charged with that.
Yeah, she got charged.
So this is not no alleged stuff. Yeah. She got charged with that. Speaking of Ilhan Omar, did y'all hear that they got her DNA?
No.
You hear about that? They got her DNA. Someone was watching too much Forensic Files or what's the other CSI, and she threw out a cigarette butt, and they went and took it and got her DNA and matched it to.
She smokes?
I guess so.
I thought that's allowed.
Bro, is divorcing your husband to marry some guy you're cheating with allowed? No, you know what I mean.
What about marrying your
bro?
brother?
That hijab or whatever that's all for show, brother.
Yeah.
She just does what she wants.
Right.
But that's why they got the DNA, because they already had the brother's DNA.
Right.
So now they're saying that it's 100% fact.
Wow.
That she married her brother. Yeah, I saw. It was on. There was a bunch of news articles about it.
Wow.
I just thought that was interesting. So and apparently, like all of the people in all of the like Somalian community in Minnesota know, and they're like, she's pretty much shunned at this point. But that's another one. She's funneling campaign money to the dude that she's now married to. You don't think that ends up back in her pocket? This is just corruption in politics for these people that you're sold to believe in, because it's about progress.
Right.
It's about she's gonna fight for
whatever.
Please
fight for her pockets.
All right, something else I wanted to show y'all. This was in Australia. This is sad, dude. So you hear about what's going on in Australia right now?
The lockdowns,
dude. The lockdowns. They're building quarantine camps. They're building quarantine camps for the population out there with like color coded.
So just so people know, like especially the major cities like Melbourne, Sydney, you can't leave your house unless you're going to like a supermarket, and it has to be in a 5-mile radius.
Yep.
If you are living alone, you can only leave your house visit a friend.
One
Right.
friend,
But
right?
you have to.
One
They have to
friend.
register that
They have
friend.
to register that
Right,
friend.
right.
And it has to be in a 5-mile radius.
Right. You
Man.
can't go anywhere past 5 miles. And if you do live together, only one of you can go to the supermarket. You can't go as a pair.
Right.
And it has to be within a 5-mile radius.
Yeah.
All
But
that
other
stuff.
than that, you can't leave the house.
Yeah. Other than that, those are the only, unless it's a medical reason, supermarket, or to visit the approved person that you have registered, pre-registered. Other than that, can't leave your house, which is a step up from what China's doing, which is just welding people into their homes. You know,
ain't leaving it all.
But
Yeah, but that's supposed to be a free country.
That's the
that's
motto,
what
right?
I'm saying.
China's.
But think about it. How long ago was it that Australia had everybody give up all their guns?
Yeah.
You can't do that in America,
No.
bro. Like, that's the thing. But so this video is of a 12-year-old girl who got caught out without a mask, and basically the police come and confront them. And you can bring,
My sister's arrested for shopping for food with no mask, and there's people walking around with no mask. Look at this. Just because my sister's not wearing a mask.
12 years old.
Look at this. No, I was just saying it's not a part of the law to wear a mask. Look at this. Just for not wearing a mask. This is stupid. Look at this police over here, not wearing a mask. I will record all of this. I don't care. Look, no mask. Look, there's more coppers coming. Look at this.
All these police for a 12-year-old girl.
12-year-old girl, because she didn't have a mask.
Look at this. Stop! What the hell?
Men.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. 12-year-old. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. My brother on the floor for nothing.
So at this point, they pepper spray her.
Paper sprayed a 12-year-old. You paper sprayed a 12-year-old. Look at all of this. Look at this. No. I just get my brother on the floor for nothing. Look at this.
Pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's that. Reminds me of that movie, Navigator, Flight of Navigator. Compliance.
Compliance, yeah.
And
Compliance.
that word. It's funny with with police because you think, like, this happened in Canada too, with a lot of the churches that they were shutting down because they were still worshiping. And the police would go in and they're like, oh, we're just doing our job.
Right.
And it's like, but at what point do you realize that the job is not worth doing?
And
You know what I mean? You got to realize, like, okay, where do I draw the line?
yeah.
Because you just shut off and say, well, I'm just doing my job. But you got to realize, like, maybe you need to quit doing this job if it's not what you should be doing. Don't be a fool and just do your duty when it has to do with what's that?
Other people's lives.
Taking away people's freedoms.
Yeah.
It's,
You know?
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. Like, and because it's like, I think people, like, the separation
Yeah.
is, well, it's not me, it's them.
It's them, yeah.
But I have to do this
They're
because
the
it's
other.
my job.
You have to make them the other.
Yeah.
Because what they also realized is that, like, even with, like, local police, because you saw what happened with Attila's gym, where it was like when the local guys came to the gym, they were like, you guys are all in violation right now. With that being said, have a good day. And they left.
Right.
Remember when they opened the gym? But then what did they do? They brought state boys in because they know that they don't care. Like the local guys, they got to live in this community,
Right.
so they got to answer to the people.
Right.
Your kids are on the same soccer team. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So what they did is they brought in guys that don't know these people
Right.
and are going to just do their job and shut the
Yep.
gym down, arrest people. They don't care.
And that's
you know?
exactly what they did in Tiananmen Square.
Right.
When that whole thing happened in China.
Right.
They knew that the police or whoever
The local soldiers, yeah.
wouldn't do anything, so they brought in soldiers from a different region, and that's where they got the chaos happening because they weren't afraid to do anything.
Yep.
And this happens so much.
When do you stop being or following your job, and when do you stand up for people?
Exactly.
And I think that's something that those.
What's the
professions
greater
have to ask
duty?
yourself. Yeah.
Is the greater duty your job, or is the greater duty to uphold the principles that you say you live by?
You're supposed to be there to serve and protect.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Who are you protecting?
But
who are you
protecting
serving?
yourself at a certain point when you're afraid to lose your job, when you're afraid to ruin your income stream. That's that. What are you really serving? Are you really free?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, let me read some comments because people have been writing and we kind of haven't been hitting them up. Mom said Soros is still at work behind the scenes like the wizard from The Wizard of Oz. We talked about that in church this week. Stephanie said, I have a few close friends in Australia. They have all been in FB jail. She said, I'd have been dead. Do that to my child. Naomi, what's up, Naomi? She said, too much going on in this world. PSA said, hey, thank you for your service as well. Oh, I think he's talking to Stephanie. Yep, fellow service members.
Cool.
Thank you guys for watching. As always, please hit the like button, hit the share button. We're trying to talk about what's really going on out here. You said a word, compliance, and that brings me to another video that I wanted to show. That was kind of funny, but this was posted by Anomaly, and he said this is a terrible ad for compliance.
You got the you got the vaccination?
Yeah.
Are you okay? I mean, you seem no, it works. Or or the mom and dad, or the neighbor, or when you go to church, or when you're I really mean it. There are trusted interlocutors. Think of the people.
What?
If your kid wanted to find
What the fuck are you talking about?
you got the vaccine?
Yo, this was not edited, guys.
Yeah, no.
This was a thing he did with Don Lemon. Was it like a town hall or some stupid thing?
Yeah.
And this was
last month.
he just started like glitching, bro. Like the Matrix wasn't working or something. Like let's play it again.
No, I'm serious.
You got the vaccination?
Yeah.
Are you okay? I mean, you seem no, it works. Or or the mom and dad, or the neighbor, or when you go to church, or when you're I really mean it. There are trusted interlocutors. Think of the people. If your kid wanted to find
Yeah, like
What?
Yeah.
what?
What are you talking about?
Yeah. I mean, it's like comply. Like that was their attempt to ease people's minds. He's gonna tell you, like, no, it's not working.
Not working.
Yeah, Rachel she sent us a video. I don't know if you saw it with Don Lemon and CNN going to like in Louisiana. 'Cause,
That's
it's
right.
been
Yeah.
pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going in there. Two people
Yeah.
who have COVID and are dealing with it. Did you take the vaccine? No. Why not?
Right.
Like, see, so he's like putting them in that
Right.
position. And they're all like, "Oh, well, I guess I should have taken it."
Yeah.
And it's just a shame. Like that's what it is. Like, let me put them in this position, and let me it's just the wrong way to look at it.
Dude, I saw a news article. Another thing that I forgot to save that went viral on Twitter. It was just hilarious the way it was worded because it was, man dies. Oh, crap. So it was said, man dies after taking 2 doses of the vaccine. Man dies of COVID after being vaccinated fully vaccinated. Doctors say if he wasn't vaccinated, it could have been worse.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
And people are like,
Worse than death?
You know, this is
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
Right.
You're still trying to spin this?
Right.
Like the dude died. Like, come on.
Yeah, but he would have died worse. If,
Yeah.
he didn't take the vaccine.
But what we're not hearing about is how to help immunity.
Yep.
You know, health wise, like simple things you can do. And if you just do a little bit of research, you know, there's a lot out there that you can do. It's a lot better than a vaccine.
Yeah.
Right.
Like natural immunity.
Yeah.
Letting your immune system work for itself.
And if you want to get a vaccine, get a vaccine.
Yeah.
Like nobody, we're not on here saying don't do it.
Yeah. But the agenda.
But it's the agenda.
It's
of
what you see
trying
New
to
York
push
doing.
people into it.
What you see New York
Yeah.
doing right now, you know.
The mandates.
And like the requiring of the ID, it's the hypocrisy of it. Because when it comes to something like voting, that's racist.
There's a problem. Yeah.
That's racist. It's but with everything else, it's like,
no, that's normal.
yeah, that's normal. That's just a part of life.
Don't you want to protect people?
Right. Tim Pool was talking about how he had been calling all these places in New York to find out if they're really going to enforce this vaccination mandate because you can't enter in restaurants if you don't prove it, you know.
Right.
And it turns out that the girl that does his producing, Lydia, she has MS, so she's dealing with that and she can't get vaccinated.
She can't get the vaccine.
Yeah. So he was like calling, like, so you're going to deny people with that, you know, have illnesses like that. You're going to deny disabled people to come into your restaurant if they're not vaccinated. And they're just like, yes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just doing my job. I have no choice.
I'm just doing my job. Yeah. And that's the issue. But there are I did see some TikToks or videos of people that are fighting back in certain restaurants in New York. They're putting stuff up like come in vaccinated or unvaccinated. Right. It doesn't matter, you know. So
yeah, that's always good to see, man.
Yeah,
because it's so sickening when you just see people just willing to just comply, man. Like just go along with whatever.
And that's where the conversation that you were having with dude at soccer.
Yeah.
Oh, it's America. It won't happen here.
Yeah. Yeah, like that video in Australia. But that would never happen here.
Yeah, it would never happen here.
Okay.
Okay, he's requiring vaccine passports.
Right. And that's what the biggest thing out of the hippie movement gave us was this false love. You know what I mean? Like, just love everybody, man.
Yep.
Like, it's all good, you know? And no, that just turns into compliance.
Yep.
Because the moment you're going to have issues with people, right? You're not going to agree. You can't always just comply. Especially if somebody's forcing their ideas on you and you don't uphold what you believe, you're going to comply out of love. And that's not what real love is anyway.
Right.
Headphones just went out. Yeah. That's not what real love is anyway. And if you comply, you just gave up your ground. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's the issue. Real love upholds, right? Real love covers other people. You cover a household, right? The love of your parents keeps you, right? If you let somebody come in, oh, go ahead. You want to come in and you want to rape my daughter? Go ahead.
Yeah.
You know, that's what that false compliant love does.
Yep.
You know, you have to draw, there has to be borders. There has to be a line that you draw so that people don't cross.
Right.
That's not hate. That's love.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a standard.
And that teaches people respect and honor. But what we've been learning these last, 40, 50 years is how to give everything up, you know?
Right.
Comply, yeah.
And thinking that's our duty, which is crazy.
Yeah.
America wouldn't be America if you just comply.
Exactly.
You got to say no.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. You gotta stand for certain values, man. You gotta stand for certain values, and people don't understand that. Like, that's a lot of the problem with these people in the Middle East have with us. is that we are starting to have all these weird values that we want to push on the world, you know, and they don't agree with it because they have certain standards that they live by, you know. Not that we agree with that stuff, but it's just, you know, you see why they push back, why they see America as, you know, like a disease almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's one side, like when you have Americans that they have no identity and they're always looking for it in other cultures. You know, like they want to know about, they go this place and they go that place and they want to absorb everything and just open themselves up to everything. But it's like, if you don't know where, it's okay to be in it and observe culture and respect culture. But if you just open yourself up to everything and you don't understand where these things come from, where the intent of these things are, you know, where the root of these things are, sometimes everything's not good. Yeah. You know? And then you have the other end where you have people in America that are like, you know, the other side of that where they're like, what? You doing that?
Right,
like,
right. They're closed off to everything.
You eat that? Right. You know, that yeah, that's the other side where you're just closed off and you don't want to hear about nothing but
we don't want your kind around here.
right.
Not around here, buddy.
Yeah. Speak English.
Right. Speak English. This is America, buddy. We speak English in America. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course we don't want that either. Right. But you can't be so open that you let anything in.
Right.
You gotta guard yourself.
Then you end up with stuff like this. Pull this up real quick. I saw this and I was like, okay, I got to play this.
Good story time. This has been my first year in preschool with a class of my own, teaching alongside another queer neurodivergent educator, and we have been rocking our twos class. We've been talking about gender and skin color and consent and empathy and our bodies and autonomy. It's been fabulous. But our teaching team is shifting and a new person is being onboarded, someone with many years of experience. So today at the lunch table, when the topic of gender and genitals came up, one of our students plainly looked up and said, well, I'm a girl today, but I know that teacher Co isn't. No, they're NB. And
First of all, I'm a girl today. No, they're MB? What the heck is MB? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Rachel.
What was it?
Non-binary.
Face was priceless. She was shocked in a good way. And she just looked around at the two of us and said, this class is incredible.
This is preschool, guys.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, I am so impressed.
Yeah.
Okay. How many cats do you think she owns, first of all? It's
just, I'm going to go 10.
So that's what slow destruction looks like.
Right.
Yeah. You know?
Right.
Because you're losing your identity.
Yeah, that's what, when you started thinking identity, I was like, all right, I got to play this because this is when you're grasping for any identity.
Right. That's your identity, to have no identity, which is crazy.
Yeah. I know, man. And then, you know, I brought up the cat thing because I saw this, which was funny because we talked about this in the past on this podcast. You know, Toxoplasma Gandhi. You guys remember this? You guys remember Toxoplasma Gandhi? I always bring up Toxoplasmosis. John knows what this is, right?
Brainworm.
Yeah, brainworms. But how do you get them?
From petting cats.
Feral cats.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Okay.
Like my neighbor, the one that is like really creepy, is like on my porch all the time. He's trying to like coerce the cats into his apartment.
Right.
And then you go over there, there's like 9 cats inside and they're like trying to get out.
Yeah. And I always see like even like the Libs on TikTok account always has these videos of like these weird people like just cuddling up with 10 cats from outside. You know what I mean? And it's like, this is a real condition because what it is there's a parasite that grows in mice. Oh no, the cats create it, but then it grows in mice and rats. And what it does is
it replicates in mice.
Yeah, it goes into their brain and it teaches the mouse. The parasite actually makes the mouse want to go to the cat, like it makes it attracted to the cat, so that the cat can eat it. So it's basically a parasite that infects the mice and it replicates in mice, but it forces the mice to like be super attracted to cats and want to be around cats. And this is something that they realize has infected humans. And like something like 80 to 90% of cat owners have this brainworm.
Wow.
And there's like weird links to like motorcycle accidents I've seen articles on, like crazy weird behavior, like just erratic behavior for people that own a lot of feral cats and have this brainworm. And now they did a study where it's linked to anxiety disorders. You know what I mean? And I was just thinking, a lot of people that I know that own a lot of cats or they're like taking cats, and it's like, you know, and then you see like this younger generation, and it's weird, like cats, I don't know, man. It's just crazy when you think about it.
At least they found the host cat or mouse.
Shout out to Paul. Paul just checked in on the Young Lion TV page. He said, yo, fellas. What's up, Paul?
Paul.
We've been talking about a lot of crazy stuff. Right now we're talking about cat brain worms. If you know what toxoplasmosis is, put a shout out in the chat. But
I forgot about the name.
Yeah. So the actual parasite is called Toxoplasma gondii.
Okay.
But the condition is toxoplasmosis.
Right.
So it's like, like you these brain worms that get it, these parasites that live in your brain and then change your behavior. And it affects humans, not as bad as mice, but it does say, they do say that it affects humans to want to have more and more cats. You know what I mean? Like it does affect you that way.
Wow.
Which is
So
weird.
it makes humans attracted to cats.
Not as bad as mice, but yeah, it makes you more and more attracted to cats. And
it says that the way people get it is from the cat's feces. So I guess when you're cleaning up the cat
cat litter, or like if they said if the cat licks you or something, or there's certain ways where you can get the parasite on you from touching the cat too. Because you think about it, like a lot of these feral cats, their feces, they don't go in litter boxes. You know what I mean? So you pet a feral cat and it's got the parasite on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So stop petting these cats. John, them cats coming to your door.
I don't be petting them.
Don't touch them things, man. I don't want them brain worms, brother.
They don't come near us. They run.
Okay. He got these cats that always come to his apartment. Yeah.
But that one weird neighbor, he's always trying to get them in his apartment. He's like coming on our porch, like trying to get them in. Like he's like
trying to snuggle up with them. He probably already got the worms, brother. Oh, Rachel got something for us.
I was going to say, all right.
Y'all seen this?
What is it?
Hold on, take it down a second, John.
Her online shopping just came up. Like, hold on, we seeing Rachel's wish list right here. What's going on?
No, listen, I put it up and it keeps trying to take it away.
Oh, what?
I click on the product page disappears to Walmart's consider these other popular products. They don't want me calling them out.
What?
That stuff. Here it is. All right. Y'all ain't seen this?
No, what is that? I can't even tell what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Pull it up full screen, John.
No.
Is that
it's a mimic like a cat's tongue.
Pull it up fat screen. Full screen,
I'm trying to find the link.
Oh, my bad. That's mine.
I don't have hers on full up there.
Oh, okay.
So
wait, there it is.
There we go. Thank you. Cat itcher brush lick them like their mother. Gift. What?
I think this goes into like their
You put it in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you pretend to lick your cat.
The top part goes in your mouth.
Yo,
the bottom part is the tongue.
What are we doing?
Their gender identity is cat.
No, what was the one we saw last week? That it was like if you identify as cat gender or dog gender, neurodivergent, right? Wasn't it neurodivergent?
I'm not thinking about that. That's in one ear, out the other. I don't got time for that.
But what are we doing, guys? What are we doing?
That's the result.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Playing
where
in the
we're at.
sandbox.
Playing in the sandbox.
That's what our dad used to say.
My dad, to quote my dad, like,
playing
y'all playing in the sandbox.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
How you lose culture is there.
Like, come on, guys. This is getting ridiculous. The idea of pets is already weird to me, and I've voiced this on the podcast before. Like, I've had pets. I had pets growing up my whole life.
Yeah.
But you think of it as this is normal. You have a pet. But it's weird. Like, if you really break it down to what it is, like, you're trapping an animal and forcing it to be with you all the time. And like, they get attached to you and everything. But, like, you're walking this, like, when I see people walking their dogs, it's weird to me. I know you got a dog, John, so I don't judge people for it, but I just it's just like,
Just do one serious face.
sometimes I just have this, like, out of body experience where I'm like, yo, what are we doing? Like, this is like, when we take things, like, it's like when you watch one of these trippy fashion shows and you see people walking down the runway with these weird outfits on,
With a meat
and
outfit or something.
and everyone's cheering and clapping and like, oh, this is so revolutionary. You're like, what are we doing? It's clothes, y'all.
I think it's weird when I see them walking their dog in strollers. Like the
Dude.
dog's in the stroller.
Right,
Walking them.
walking a dog in a stroller, or
put the
pajamas, pajamas.
Let's,
Wiping your dog's butt.
I don't do this, but let's go on.
Let's change the subject. Change the subject. No, but yeah. So you know, it's already weird. And then when you see them doing things like that, like, it's just, we're constantly upping the ante on how weird we're making this pet thing. Like, it's and there's a huge, the problem is when people see a market for it, they're gonna keep pushing the envelope.
But doesn't it have to do kind of with like our comfort zone, in a way?
Yeah.
And like, because a lot of people say like, I love my pet more than I love people.
I love animals more than people. Yeah.
And it becomes like, well, that's just because it's your comfort zone, and a lot of people don't want to have conflict. Because with people, they actually think, and you know what I mean. They're,
right.
Like, there's a little pushback.
You can't put them in a cage.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Can't talk to them, and they won't talk back.
Right.
to you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just weird.
Did we play the video of Fauci or his NIH getting exposed for using dogs?
We didn't play that. Do you have it?
I did.
See if one of us can find it.
What is it?
NIH funding where they were using dogs to experiment on, and it was like they had a deal with I don't know if it was a breeder or a rescue house or something, but they were taking in hounds.
Yeah,
yeah, that's right.
They were experimenting on dogs.
Yeah.
And killing like tons of dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Somebody said like, is he gonna be judged like this? Like
Vic did.
Like Michael Vick did. Yeah, we did talk about that on here. Yeah. Moan said that.
Okay.
Moan said that, yeah. Because that dude was the public enemy number one
for dog fighting. But this guy's over here experimenting on dogs.
But PETA's getting exposed too, because you heard that PETA, like, I didn't know this. PETA executes euthanizes like 70% of their animals that they rescue.
I didn't. No.
Like, what?
Yeah. You know what Stephanie brought up? Good point. I when she's saying it's in Genesis, I think she's talking about the animals. She says, "I take care of all unwanted, abused God's creatures or animals." Right. And yeah, I think I know a bunch of people who have like refuges for animals, wild animals, and it's cool. And I do believe it's a good thing. So I'm definitely not with Jamie on that. Maybe, but I do get his point because you can take it too far, you know. And I think like even in terms of like when, how it says in Genesis, maybe this is what she's talking about, like how God gave man dominion over the earth,
right? And
he gave him, he charged him with naming the animals,
right?
And people think it's like, oh, that's a lion,
yeah.
Oh, that's a
you shall be a lion,
yeah. When it's about the character, it's about. It's about how that's gonna work in the world,
right?
Right?
What's its duty,
its attributes to the world, and then you look at the wild. Literally, wild has to do with out of order,
right?
How things are out of order, but we got to point back to man,
right?
Because we don't have dominion.
That's what I'm saying. So we lost that dominion. So now we're trying to force it onto animals again,
right? But in the right context. it can come back into order.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. So,
but look at the way we do it is through breeding these like sick, like
Well, that's-
like that
Well,
whole process of
Yes.
think about like all of these animals, pugs, bulldogs, French
Yeah.
bullies, like all these animals that have all these medical problems because they've been so inbred through generations.
and that's the other side,
Right.
That's the far left side,
Yeah.
where you're taking it left and you're using it for now your own comfort and your own personal preference type thing,
yeah.
Splicing and dicing.
and then you're a lot of these dogs they have health issues and problems
Most of
because
them.
they were never meant to be bred like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you're actually breeding in genetic deficiencies. I mean, look at a pug.
Yeah.
That thing looks to me.
You're gonna be hate on by all the.
I know people love these animals. I get it.
I think it belongs on Men in Black. It's the perfect place for it.
People love pugs, but it's like, yo, that thing looks like it's suffering its whole life. Just to me, like it looks like
smashed.
It looks like a little retard that's just like struggling. It's like suffering, and you're just like, yo, it's so cute. You know what I mean? It's really just like this dog, like kill me. You know what I mean? Like.
With his breathing all hard.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, but people swear that they can tell dogs' emotions. You know what I mean? It's hilarious. All right, enough about animals. Let's move on to. We got these clips from Nick Cannon was on the Breakfast Club. We're gonna have to talk through these because I know we're gonna get hit with copyright. They're probably gonna try to take it down. He was on the Breakfast Club, caused a lot of controversy because he was putting forward this idea. Well, they were questioning him about the fact that he has so many kids by so many women, and he's not married, and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And what does he say about the pushback against that? And then he put forth this idea that monogamy is a Eurocentric concept, basically. So we're going to kind of play a little bit of that and, give commentary and also react to it. And, anybody in the chat, feel free to chime in about what you are hearing because it is some nonsense.
Make you crazy when people, when they judge your relationship online. Like, I remember you just had your recent baby and you were in the strip club with me and people were like, how is he in the strip club when he just had a baby an hour ago? Does that affect you at all?
Yeah, that's just time management. Nah, it doesn't because I don't really. It's a lot of noise. You know what I mean? That's when I talk about the frequencies. Like when you operate on a certain frequency, you usually don't hear the noise. Sometimes it gets up there and then you deal with it. So I don't the clutter that I don't really deal with that. But when someone asks me that question, I literally say, man, watch how I move. Like, is anybody complaining? Is anybody do my children look like they're not well behaved or in a space where they're suffering or any lack emotionally, physically, whatever it is?
Okay.
So
just so we can cut it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So everything he said, like first he said, that's noise. I live above the noise.
I'm on a different frequency.
On a different frequency. He kind of explains that later on.
Okay, because that sounds like some new age.
Exactly. What you'll hear from him is he's a mixed bag.
Right.
He's meaning whatever you want to get out, you want
bit of that.
Whatever you want to take out, you can take out.
You want to dip into that. You want to dip into that Hebrew Israelite, Black Hebrew Israelite. You want to dip into that Christianity. You want to dip into that New Age.
Right. Whatever is going to fit me and keep me doing whatever I want to do.
Right. Basically,
do as I will is the whole of the law.
Right.
So and that comes from Aleister Crowley.
Yeah,
y'all can look up his name. And I'm not saying he even prescribes to Aleister Crowley. What I'm saying is
it's
that
that's same mentality,
same culture.
Right.
Because that's the culture.
The Freemason culture, like they bring in all religious ideologies because they believe that they can pull from all that. Because it's basically just a tool for the agenda.
Right.
You know what
and
I mean?
so what they basically say is like, do as thou wilt is the whole of the law.
Right.
Love is the law under will. So love, and this is like, this guy was deemed to be like the wickedest man alive in his time.
He called himself that.
You know, he was a heavy occultist.
Yeah.
Wrote some very disturbing stuff
Yeah.
about children, about sacrifice, about all kinds of crazy stuff.
Ways to attain power, and it was
Right.
very sick, occulty stuff.
Witchcraft stuff. But the point is,
But and I'll just point out that there's a lot of celebrities that worship this guy that have,
Yeah.
worn the shirts with his quotes on them. Jay-Z being one of them,
yeah.
and a lot of people that have his picture on things. You know what I mean? That you
right,
probably
you had
seen.
the Doors, the Beatles,
Yeah.
the Rolling Stones, like all these people either dabbled, like Beatles had him on the cover,
Right.
So
Jack Parsons, who invented the first,
Jack,
jet, the
Jet propulsion
jet
for
propulsion,
fuel.
that turned into the rockets that we use for NASA.
Right.
L. Ron Hubbard, you know what I mean? All these people.
Yeah, L. Ron Hubbard, Scientology.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is where this stuff comes from. And again, I'm not saying that he has anything to do with that. I'm just saying that it's the mentality and it's literally the culture of Hollywood.
The spirit that
You know, it's the culture. And it's about, it's literally like, again, do as thou wilt is the whole of the law, right?
Yep.
And love is the law under will. And that's key to, I can't mess with whatever you think. I can't be trying to get in the way of that.
Right.
It's really about the finding your will. And what will is to them is their true nature. Right? So we have our program nature, but to them, the true nature is your true being or your true spirit, which has to do with the angel, the guardian angel behind it all. So you can see how it all connects back to like the new age.
Today I feel like a girl, or today I feel like a boy.
Well, yeah,
right.
Well, yeah, that's
to
where
go back to what that.
That's where living your truth comes from, right? So we're just giving a whole background into like this is where he's coming from. So that's why he can go into picking from this, picking from that, because it all creates his own form of identity, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you see a lot that's happening in the world. It's really about fulfilling your desire to the fullest. And it's connected to narcissism when you think about it.
Yeah.
Right. But then it's like you'll say something, but then you'll back off. Like you can do whatever you want, but this is what I'm gonna do. And that's why you see that pride and then that false like humility.
Yeah.
You know, that happens a lot. Like I'm under that frequency. But if somebody asks me, see, like, I mean, I'm over that frequency, right? I'm not hearing all that noise, like pride and then, but false humility, right? And a lot of people don't understand that. They're like, oh, okay, I get that. Like, so they get pulled into that trap. He's not judging, right? No, he is judging.
Right.
He's just not judging the way you think
Right.
judging goes, right?
The way you've been taught.
The way we've been taught.
Yeah. All right, let's continue playing.
I feel like I'm doing the job to the best of my ability, and it's all based on love. So I know people gonna have opinions.
Hey,
but people have
based on
opinions
love.
about everything, and it's like, you know, and they always say, you know, lions don't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep because sheep will never understand how a lion moves. So I'm gonna just continue to be on my path and on my journey. And people, I know that it's fun. You ever see the book, the Celestine Prophecy?
Yeah, I love that book.
Where they talk about
Kendrick G put me on that book.
Yeah, like the energy.
You can see people's aura.
Yeah, you see,
Their
and the current, like energy is currency. So people want to. In that book, they talk about they call it interrogators. And I was like, I used to use the word haters a lot, but it's like it's not hate, it's interrogation, because that's how they get your energy. They want to dissect it. They want to have an opinion on it. They want, and I'm like, oh, you can interrogate all along. You know, if you ever been arrested before, you sit back and you remain calm. You let the interrogators interrogate, but you never let them break your cool. You never let them break your stride, and you stick to your story. You live your truth, and they gonna do what they do, and they gonna go out the room, and they gonna come back with some new shit.
Look at
people want to.
Listen to all the triggers, like, and I'm saying this because we gotta break these cycles of like just listening to people and not paying attention. He's saying, live my truth.
Right.
Right. He's saying, you know, he quoted lions don't, that's pride right there. Lions don't be concerned with sheep.
Not the young lions, by the way. He talking about those lions
Right.
that they tell you about to watch out for. That come to devour. You know what I'm saying? It's to steal your children. You know what I'm saying?
Because when you look at biblically, lions, it says young lions suffer lack, right? Because we have to learn how to eat, right? Because our source is God. So sheep become lions because you learn how to lay down your own life, right? You can't become a lion without first becoming a sheep led to the slaughter. So it's a whole different thing. But with the way he's saying it, it's total opposite. It's like, no, they're sheep.
The sheep,
you know what I mean? Sheep can't be concerned. I mean, lions
they're subjugated by the lions,
right? And that's where the disconnect comes, and you have to. That's false humility,
right?
You know, this is false humility, love. You know, it's all false humility. What he's doing. So,
all right, let's move to the next video.
And I love being married. I love the idea of being with one woman and building a family, building an empire.
And I feel like I want to figure, like, I remember being in that space, and I was with the one woman I've always wanted to be with for my entire. I lived.
Always pay attention to these words that become cultural. Space is that word now. If you notice, like everyone uses that space. It's like,
and I feel like,
right, and I
those
feel
things
like,
too.
yeah,
because just because you feel like don't mean it's right.
Yeah.
And that's what people do all the time. Well, I just feel this,
right,
and
I think when you say that space, you create a divide, and you say. That's over there.
That's you.
In that space.
This is my
I'm
space.
in this space.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's when you can kind of disconnect things.
Right.
And separate them in a way that they're not meant to be separated. I remember when I was in that space of wanting to be married.
Right.
You know what I mean?
MySpace?
Yeah, MySpace. That was that pre-programming, bro. We didn't even know. Yo, Tom was the original what's his name? Zuckerberg. That's right, man. That was a Freudian slip. Zuckerberg. Because that dude is not human. All right.
The dream, and I saw it was so much to that. But for me, based off of my trajectory in life, I was like, there's a little bit more. And even like, I can even admit, like, as sometimes there was selfish concepts of like, I feel like my purpose is greater outside of just being in this institution. I feel like I can affect and do so much more for the limited time that I have here on this planet to where I can actually get to it. Because one thing about being married is you gotta go home at night.
Yes.
You gotta there's things that need to be taken care of in that household on a day-to-day basis because you made this commitment and this covenant that needs to be honored daily. And you're a representation, like, you know what I mean? That's what them rings are for. You showing the world that we are bonded together. Yeah.
What he's saying, decode all of that nonsense. He's saying, I don't want responsibility.
I was just going to say that.
You know what I'm saying?
Responsibility.
Like, that's what he's saying. I don't want the responsibility, the duty of being a husband.
Right.
You know?
And I think I'm higher than that.
Right.
Like,
I'm above that.
But he
because
kind of
I'm
backed
needed.
off of it.
Right. I'm needed.
started
I have
with-
things to do.
Right.
The world needs me
My
to not be
purpose.
married. Yeah. Shout out to Paul real quick. He said he was talking about lions, like L-I-E. yeah, exactly.
I like it.
I like that.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. But
He's
yeah.
just going back to that spread your seed all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
You don't want to be responsible.
But see, the Bible says be fruitful and multiply,
Multiply,
my
my
brother.
brother.
So I'm just doing what God said to do. You know, that's how they do. That's how they spin
Right.
it. But yeah, back to
So if you got that on and you not bonded together, then it's like then you live in this falsehood, and that's the one thing I'm like, I gotta live my truth.
my truth.
Gotta live
My
my truth.
We should write a song about that, man. The amount of times I hear that on a daily basis.
Yep.
My truth, this space, that space. I hear it all the time, man.
And again, that has a lot to do with the Thelema religion, Aleister Crowley, My Truth.
Yeah. Thelema, that's the who started that? That's Aleister Crowley?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was wondering who that was. All right.
I personally, I mean, salute to anybody else who does it, but I can't get out here and talk about how much I live my truth, walking truth, only to truth, and I'm creeping. Like, so every woman that deals with me knows that, well, we know what it is, and that's every aspect of my life, whether it's things I spit on these mics and be like, at least what he say, he believe it, and it's true. It ain't no false pretense here. You're gonna get what it get. You may not agree with it.
Again, I'm going to decode this for all the people that don't understand what he's saying. I make enough money where chicks will sleep with me and not care if I mess with other women because they just want to be attached to my clout.
And they know they're going to be well off.
And you're right. They know they can get a bag out of it, or they know that they're going to have a lifestyle that they're going to have to share me, and I don't have to commit to none of them. But because I'm famous and rich, they'll put up with it. That's what he's saying.
They can get on Instagram and become...
Because the average dude that works a 9-to-5 job can't do what he's trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just bottom line.
And we can have discourse and debate, but I live my truth. And that's one thing I found, like, if I ever felt like I was going to be stepping out or doing this, then it's like, I'm sitting here lying. And
no, that's real. That's the reason I stopped cheating, to be totally honest. You know what I'm saying?
And I again, cheating is even such a word, because if I go into this situation and, and whether you want to put terms on it, all type of labels and stuff, but if you know that I could say, like, monogamy or one person and one person, that's difficult for me. I can't do that. I did that very well within my marriage, but I'd be lying if I would say that I was sitting in that situation and another woman never crossed my mind.
Yeah, it don't work for me. I love being with women.
Again, I respect and salute, and I'm gonna rock with y'all for a minute. Anyone who can.
Is this the next one?
Yeah.
We missed one.
I mean, they're all there, so we'll see it eventually.
This is actually the last one.
Okay. So I don't know, bro. Like, I don't remember what order they were in. All right, bring it back up, Rich, please.
The Bible, it speaks of marriage should be exalted, and when you think about things that should be exalted,
did he just reference the Bible?
Yeah, be an honorable relationship. Because again, if we want to go back to the Bible,
what did I just say? See, God said, "Be fruitful."
Marriage should be exalted, and when you think about things that should be exalted, and it only can work through the hierarchy and the order of God. That's why I say a marriage has to be ordained and has to.
That's true. What he just said.
Yeah, but it also just shows you that he's doing whatever the heck he wants, and
he's pulling from this, pulling from that. Yeah,
he's believing that if people want to do that and serve God in that hierarchy, whatever the way he sees it, because I don't know how he sees it. It's obviously off how he sees it, because it's easy for everybody to step into the way God wants or the order that God wants. You know, so obviously the way he's saying it is off, right? But it's interesting because that's what a lot of people do. They take the Bible, they'll read something, and then they'll use it for their own ideas to just solidify where they want to stand.
Right.
Instead of like saying, okay, what do you mean? See, and that's the whole point. Like, the point of what Jesus came to do is he was obedient. He said, I only do what I see the Father do. He literally, everything he did, everything he spoke, he said, I was sent to do this by the Father. That's sonship, right? It says through his suffering, he learned obedience, right? Even though he did nothing wrong, he suffered and learned obedience, right? So all these things are key, and he's not talking about none of that.
Yeah.
So so don't get pulled into the things that he says that has anything to do with the Bible, because it's totally out of context, because it has to do with obedience and trusting in God.
Right.
And
he's speaking on things just justifying his positions.
Right. He's not trusting in God. He's not saying, yeah, well, I wanted to know where God was coming from on this. No, I want to solidify myself in my own actions.
I want to do what I want to do.
He has become God.
So I'm finding ways legalistically to, break things down in a way where it justifies my behavior.
Right. And then, so again, we've been talking about identity a lot today, and identity has to do with structure, right? Because identity is what we push forth, right? It's what we put forth.
What we project.
What we project, exactly. Yeah. So it's the structure we project. It's our character, right? Sometimes where we might even be, it might be a subconscious thing that we don't even realize that we project, but it's still there. So when project these things, that becomes our barrier to the world. That becomes our wall to the world, but also what they see, you know, and that's how we interact.
Right.
So whenever we get a pushback, we try to.
It's our avatar.
In a way.
Yeah.
In a
it's
way,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, when you think about it.
But it's yeah, and it's like it's a projection of our spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is what he's pushing for. I don't think he really realizes it at all, but that's why it's like the character represents fruit, right? You know them by their fruit.
Right.
If you don't know the character of Jesus, the name of Jesus, right? We pray in the name of Jesus. If you don't know the name or the character of Jesus, then it gets harder to know the name and the character in others, right? You can't see the fruit. You can't see the structure. You can't see the character. You have to know him. And in order to know him, you have to lay down your life. So there's an obedience there that has to happen, or you're going to take the word, the Bible, out of context because it's out of character and it conforms to your own character, your own identity.
Yeah. You have to die to yourself, what you said.
Shout out to Moan. He's watching. He just commented. He tried hard to make that turban popular. It ain't working, bro. Yeah, he definitely tried. I remember I made a meme one time of him in the turban next to what was the dude from Mike Tyson's Punch Out?
Oh, yeah.
He looked just like him, yo.
Yeah.
Tiger, was it Tiger?
I know the character.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but I can't think of it.
It'll come to me.
Mom said Nick is doing the opposite of dying to self. He's living for himself.
Yeah, I like that.
Stephanie said, what is he wearing? Exactly. That's his avatar. He's projecting, like Jake said, his identity. Tiffany said, hope everyone have a good night. Love you guys. Stay blessed. Good night, Tiffany. Thank you for tuning in. All right. You guys want to pick up from there?
Yeah.
A little bit more
Understand that, because that's something it's not easy to do. If it's exhausting, I'm like, dang, I could never do that. That's not for the ad. Just like everybody can't be a priest. And so when I see
again,
I
okay,
believe,
that's false humility.
Right.
I could never do that.
Right.
See, that takes you out of the equation
I'm
right
not
away.
as good as you.
Right.
Right.
That takes you out when it's really like that's false humility.
Right.
Right? Because Jesus said, all things are possible.
Right.
Right? All things are possible. He says, with God, all things are possible. So, and it's funny because when he says that to disciples, and they're like, how is it possible for anybody to enter the kingdom of heaven? Because he's talking about the rich man.
About the rich man.
And you got him there because he wants to, when you're rich, it's easier for you to hold on to these things, right?
Yep. He's literally talking about him.
Right.
Yeah.
But
and they're coming from the idea that, like, no, God gives riches. So if a rich man can't enter the kingdom, then how is it possible for anyone?
Exactly. And that's a key thing, because the way a lot of the Hebrew or Israel's at that time, they looked at righteousness was through wealth.
Right.
Right. You look at the book of Job. So this is their idea. And that's why they're like, well, how is it possible that anybody can enter into the kingdom? But what Jesus was showing is that the enemy can get all up in that. You know, he can twist it to make what seems good evil. Right. So if you're just basing somebody's structure, character, fruit off of what they've accomplished, right? Success, wealth, you're going to miss it. Possessions, you're going to miss it, right? And you'll know them by their fruit because are they willing to give that up? And that's the key, you know. No. But they're like, but is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. All things are possible. Right, through God. So this is what he's doing. He's like, yeah, that ain't I can't do that.
Right.
You know,
I can't give that up, God.
it's not that I can't, it's that I won't.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right. It's that I won't.
Right.
Because he's accustomed to a certain life.
Yep.
Right. And that's the key.
Right. Okay, back at it, guys. Boom.
Come on, that's powerful. That's blessed by God. You can't do it by yourself. And when I'm out here on that grind trying to move how I move, I know that I'd have to fully dedicate. I've been in that scenario, and I understand where you gotta pray together. You gotta lock in. You gotta be on the same frequency and wavelength at all times. My energy is so all over the place. It's difficult for me to do that. But when I see it, I'm like, that's success. Do it, man.
Do what you
So
will.
he's literally saying without saying it, great, I love it, do that. Not over here.
Right. Right.
Not over here.
I've
And-
seen it, and I say that's success.
Right.
But me, I'm humble. I'm not ready for that. I can't have that level of success.
And that's thelema.
Right.
Because thelema in the Greek means will. Right. So that's what the whole will thing is. Like, that's your thing. It's not my thing. I salute you, because he does that a lot. I salute them over there. You know.
Mon said, "Great tiger." Yes. Great
Oh
tiger.
yeah, great tiger. Yeah.
Hold
yeah.
on, let me pull up a
That's
picture.
the character.
I'm
yeah.
sorry, but it's
From,
just it
Mike
was
Tyson's
just.
punch out.
I gotta pull up
okay.
I gotta pull up the old John.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so small. There you go.
He crouched down and did the little shimmy.
There you go,
Yeah,
right
there he is.
That's Nick.
Yes.
That's Nick Cannon if he grew the mustache. But it was funny because there was a picture of him like wearing the white turban, same thing. That had a jewel,
Right,
so
right,
it
right.
looked just like it. All right, so we're gonna continue picking up next video. I don't know what this one's saying.
It's probably
People question the different baby mothers. That's what
But
it
why do
is.
people question
This is
that?
the main one.
Right.
I mean,
people-
because
This
it's
is the one
that's
that went
a
viral.
Eurocentric concept when you think about.
There we
the-
go.
the
Let's play that
idea.
again. We just skipped past
The
it.
different baby mothers. That's what
But
it
why do
is.
people question that? I mean, because that's a Eurocentric concept when you think about the ideas of like you're supposed to have this one person for the rest of your life, and then really that's just a classified property when you think about it. I mean, like when you go into that mindset, if we really talking that talk, like just the idea that a man should have one woman, we shouldn't have anything. I have no ownership over this person. Like if we're really talking about how we coexist and how we populate.
I'll say so. Right there, he used two tactics of placating to identities to make his point. Right.
Yeah.
First of all, that gets us to the title of this podcast, which monogamy is white supremacy, because that's what he's touching on right there. He's hitting on that for all the black people that question him, and then all the women that question him, he's hitting on women are not property.
Yep.
Right.
So he's touching on two false narratives to make his point on
Right.
why he should have 7 baby mamas.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm empowering
Right.
women,
Right.
and I'm empowering
Right.
our black people.
Right.
And what they're trying is take away our power, which is, totally false.
Yep. All right. I just wanted to point that out because it was like so blatant that he just like linked those two things together.
Not everybody's seen it though. So
Yeah.
it's good to stop and.
It's about what exchange can we create together. So I've never really subscribed to that mentality. You know what I mean? I understand the institution of marriage and stuff, but if we go back to what that was about, that was the classified property. That was because one.
Where is they getting that from?
Yeah, he goes back and forth too. Like one time
Yeah, because you've seen
He's
it in the other
saying-
video.
yeah,
He
that's
said
what I'm saying.
marriage is the exaltation of God, and
Yes.
it's the hierarchy of God, and that's truly
And it's
blessed.
blessed,
And
yeah.
that's not for me. I'm just a humble, meek servant that
Right.
can't obtain this type of level of status.
Right.
But now it's property, and he,
right, because and that video that was later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this video is
He
earlier.
said this first
He
and then
said
went
this
to that. Okay.
Right. So see how like if you look at everything, it's like, bro, you're all over the place.
Right.
Like, what is it?
Yeah.
And that's the issue. And I just want to say, like, it's not to destroy Nick Cannon.
No.
But it's to show.
It's to destroy the
ideas
of this mindset and this culture
Right.
that is
going
trying
on
to take hold.
and that he's
right.
upholding to.
Right. Right.
Because he's upholding to something.
Yeah.
Even though he's acting like he's not upholding
Yeah,
to anything.
right.
He's definitely upholding to something. And it has nothing to do with God. And that's why he goes back and forth.
You're in Sodom and Gomorrah. He just.
Paul said he's totally inconsistent. Yeah.
Yeah. So then he's saying property.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, is it property or is it something higher thing with God? Like,
Yeah. Which one is it?
And then he goes into covenant. Like I don't know if we missed that video or maybe he says it later.
No,
I
he
can't.
said it in the other video.
But he said he went more into it. I think
Okay.
it might be here.
I think there's another video too. So
Okay.
A father gave another man his daughter for land. So when you really get to that concept, it's like, all right, well, we got to change all of this up because I don't want ownership over anybody. I don't have-
but first of all, how is that a Euro like that was happening all over the world, and it was happening in certain cultures. That's not everywhere.
Yeah, but if we're talking like, because he uses the Bible a lot,
right?
If we're talking about the Bible, it has nothing to do with that. Right. Has nothing to do with that. There's even an incident in the Bible in Numbers where the daughters of the tribe of Manasseh, I forget the dude's name, he only had daughters, so they brought up a point like, well, we don't want our inheritance to go, so it should go to us. And like, yeah, you're right. It should go to you.
Yeah.
Right? Because they didn't want to lose that inheritance.
Right.
So it had nothing to do with like giving up property.
Right.
Right? No, they marry into that inheritance. You know, so I don't know where he's coming with this. Maybe he has to do
some
with
book that he read.
Everything else, but when you're talking about how we equate what the Bible says and how we allocate that in our lives in Western civilization, you're off.
Right.
Now, we could twist things like we have in the past, like people have in the past.
And a lot of cultures have twisted things and created these other cultures, like these other concepts through culture about marriage and what it is, and made it another different type of bondage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that is true. But what he's talking about is something totally different.
Right.
Ownership of any of the mothers, or like we create families in that sense of we created a beautiful entity. So I get into it because I don't, those are the concepts that a lot of people, because we're so indoctrinated into it, like we have to have it this way. I'm not, I don't subscribe to that. I actually think women are blessing us. Those women and all women are the ones that open themselves up to say, I would like to allow this man in my world and I will birth this child. So it ain't my decision. I'm following.
You don't think the fact that they know that if they have a baby with you, they're set for life plays into it at all? You don't think that factors in?
Right.
Like we just had this incident with the Instagram chick. Did you guys hear about this?
No.
Some Instagram chick that finessed this young basketball player. Now she's getting $200K a month in child support. Like she finessed this dude. She's known for being like an Instagram, whatever. And she's done live streams talking about how athletes are stupid. She's slept with a bunch of celebrities, wrote a tell-all book. She's one of those girls,
Okay.
And so she found this young dude who just got into the NBA. She was like 27 at the time or something. And, finessed him, started dating him, and then got pregnant. And, I think they were like, she was acting like they were going to get married. And then as soon as she had the baby, she broke up with him and now filed for child support and got awarded like $200K a month. You know what I mean? And it's like everybody's dragging this dude now like, yo, you stupid. But it's like, he didn't stand a chance. Right. You know what I mean? Like, because this is the culture that he's listening to. Right. This is the stuff. This is what he grew up under.
Well, what are we like when you look at men and you look at women? Like, what are women? What structure, right? What character? What are women or what are women looking at?
Yeah.
Right. It's
Cardi B.
And that's why, like, what does the Bible say? Women, respect your husbands. That has to do with character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That has to do with like, it's about what do women like? What are they drawn to? Right? What are they attracted to? And if a man is not in the right mind, he's gonna think, oh, she likes me. Oh, but she's looking. What is she looking at? Why is she attracted to you?
Right.
And what happens is when we get married, a lot of times women, you're not going to live up to that character because it's not about really you. It's what they think you are.
Right.
Right. It's what they think you are. I'm not saying all women, but this happens all the time.
But it's happening more and more because again, there's this culture being developed.
Right.
And this
idea. What are you watching all the time?
Right.
What kind of music are you listening to? All these things play.
Yeah.
What kind of movies are you watching? What are you feeding yourself? What social media are you experiencing every day and feeding on?
Yeah.
And then you're going to start to project that, right? I want this. right?
Becomes your avatar.
Right, but now you're looking like it becomes your avatar, and men are different because men are looking at the outside a lot of times, especially low character men, right? They're looking at the outside and, oh, she got a big butt, oh, she got, and that stuff.
So what do? They go get fake big butts and
right,
because they know that men
That's
will
what
yeah.
that's what
right.
attract.
So now it's like it's all fake. That's fake. He's fake.
Right.
He's projecting.
You're
something.
both trying to finesse each other, and
Right.
this is the game now.
That looks like success. It's not.
Right.
Right. But it looks like success to me because that's the character that I've been programmed into thinking is right. And once I get into that experience, and then you get behind the Wizard of Oz veil, right, and you realize, oh, he's just a man.
Right. Oh,
Right.
oh, she's just a woman.
Yeah.
And then what do we have now? A bunch of hurt people. We have this red pill community. We have this MGTOW community. We have this women finesse community because there's a whole bunch of women channels on YouTube telling women how to get over on men, how to finesse them, how to get their money. Don't date no scrubs. Only date. Don't sleep with dudes if they can't buy you a Birkin bag. You know what I mean? So you have these two cultures emerging based off of what you're saying.
Right. And all this has got to do with sin. Because what is sin about? Sin is about doing whatever you want and letting the wrong things in.
Right.
And that's the bottom line. You're letting the wrong things. You're being moved by the wrong spirits.
Yeah.
Right. The wind. You're being driven by the wrong wind.
Yep.
Right. And you're acting in that. That's what sin is about. You're acting. What are you listening to?
Yeah.
Right. What's motivating you? What are you listening to? What are you seeing? What are you watching? Right. That's the wrong spirit, the wrong wind. You're listening to these things. It's starting to entice you. So this is where you put your heart towards, your passions towards, your action towards, and then whatever doesn't line up with that, you dishonor it.
Yeah.
You disrespect it.
Yeah.
Right. And if all these things are actually evil, and they're but you think it's good. You're calling good evil and evil good because you're disrespecting and dishonoring what's good. That you're not even looking at that. That got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing about that. So then it's like you can't. Your discerner is off. You don't know how to judge, right? So even though for a time it looks good, eventually it's going to cause destruction in your life. And that's the issue. The wages of sin
are death.
We
got a couple comments. Mom said excuses to get out of anything that comes to dying to self. Moan said he was one of the weaker characters. I guess he's talking about Great Tiger. Yes, he was. Great Tiger was so easy to beat.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Man, remember that trick? Remember the trick?
I don't remember nothing.
You don't remember Great Tiger? Great Tiger, his diamond would light up, and then he would like kind of like disappear, and then hit you with a jab.
And then you gotta hit
but
him
if you
at a
start
certain
hit
time.
him, if you start hit him right when the diamond goes off, he's knocked out.
Knocked out.
Yeah. That was the trick to beating him. Mom said, "Continue to do what you want, Nick." No, don't.
But that's the thing. Like, so we see these things, and we can deny it and say, no, this stuff right here, no. But give him the opportunity to see the truth.
Yeah.
When we stand in the truth and we become impassioned by the wind of the Spirit of God, we become set aflame by that Spirit. That's when we come around other people, it's uncomfortable for people, right? It becomes uncomfortable. And people don't want, because then now their sin is being brought to the surface. Right. Those things that they've been allowing in. So they either hide, they go somewhere. They don't want to be around you, But some people are drawn to you because there's something there, But husbands love your wives. That's key because we're going to love people. It says as Christ loved the church, right? And the lesser vessel. It doesn't mean that they're lesser, like I'm greater than you because I'm a man.
Right.
No, that's not what it means. It means that my job is to be strength.
Right.
Right? My job is to be strength. And your job is to respect me, so you can come under this strength, right? And then you can
triggered a bunch of people with that one, bro.
So because it's not seen in the right way.
I know.
When I say strength, I mean women's job is not to deal with everything.
Yeah.
Right? That's why there's anxiety.
Yeah.
Right? That's why there's fear.
Also because of the brainworms, we're finding out. But yeah.
But it's actually like when you love somebody in the right way, you're taking away their anxiety.
Yeah.
Right? Perfect love casts out all fear.
Exactly.
So a man can't love his wife in the right way if he's not first loved by God.
Right.
And in order for him to be loved by God and see that love and honor that love, he's got to humble himself.
Yep.
And it's the same thing with the woman.
That's the only way to recognize the love of God.
Right.
It's funny because I was just talking yesterday to Liz and James was over and we were talking about relationships and like a lot of the issues now going on. And that word, women get super triggered by that word submit. You know what I mean? Like submission.
Yeah.
Because what it means to them is like you're a slave or you're some kind of like servant. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And they don't understand. I don't think they understand like what that truly means. Like
it's interesting because it always blows my mind because, it says that wives submit to your husbands. But even before that, it says submit to one another. Mm-hmm. Like brothers and sisters, like submit to one another.
Right.
In the faith. And so, and we're speaking about, this is all in Ephesians, like Ephesians 5.
Yeah.
But what does that mean? That means I'm looking at you.
Right.
And seeing, I want to honor you.
Yep.
Right? How can I honor you?
Yeah.
Right? Seeing the things in you.
Right.
The fruit in you. The thing, and I can't see it again if I first don't humble myself. And it's the same, what does that have to do with? Loving your neighbor. You can't love your neighbor if you don't first love God.
Yeah. You don't know how.
Because you don't know how.
Right.
How do you love God? Well, he's a greater love than you. The only thing you have to give is to humble yourself. Mm-hmm. How does a child love his dad? He listens. Mm-hmm. She listens. It's obedience.
And it's a willingness to humble yourself and be led.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right.
And then in that, now you got the ability to love somebody else.
Right.
Right. So you can't even love somebody in the right way if you don't first humble yourself.
Right.
And love. So what Nick is talking about has nothing to do with any of this because he's not first humbling himself. So when you really look at it, it's a lot of pride that's going on.
And justifying and, well, that all has to do with pride.
Right. So if you follow him, it's going to lead you into a pit. Mm-hmm. It's going to lead you, the blind leading the blind. Mm-hmm. You're going to be led into a place and fall. And most people who listen to stuff like this, they want to hold on to their identities that they need to actually let die, right? The structure, the character in their life that needs to die, that they're projecting into the world through fear because of what they can receive. And the interesting about faith is it's all about giving and receiving, right? You won't get from God, and this is like the amazing thing about faith. Like you can't get from God until you lay down your life and receive his life, right? Faith is about trust. So I can't get nothing from God until I trust him to lay down my own idea, right? That I'm in fear of and I'm trying to get from everything in the world.
Right.
Right? Because that's my relation to everything in the world. And that's why my relationships are off in the world. But the moment I lay down that life and I take his grace that's for my life and receive that and say, not my will, right? And we talk thelema, right? In the Greek, not my thelema, which they try to pervert, right? Not my thelema, but yours. Your will be done in my life. I lay down my will to have yours. So now I read the Bible in a different way. Not the way I want to see it,
Right.
the way you meant it, the way you intended it to be. That's the key. It's his intention. How can I have his intention if I'm always worried about my own intention and how I relate to everybody?
Yeah.
If I'm in fear of it,
Right.
right? And when I lay that down, now I can receive his intention. And if I can receive his intention, now I can give that intention. I don't want to give my own heart. I want to give his heart, right? Because that's a greater love for my life.
Man, that was a perfect way to end it. I don't think we need to play the rest of this. We get the gist. Yeah. So 10:15. Let's wrap it up, guys. That was a good episode.
Wow.
We hit a lot of things. Appreciate you guys watching. Shout out to everybody who's still with us. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit that share button if you didn't get to do it yet. Also, if you want to subscribe on YouTube, head over to our YouTube, please. Subscribe over there. We're trying to get the subscriptions up on YouTube because, you know, a lot of these platforms are hard to grow on because of the algorithms, the way they do things, Mark Zuckerberg, all that stuff. You know, we don't know how it all works. We're not geniuses, but we know that we can tell when they're throttling us. But yeah, here's the YouTube right here. You can just search Young Lion TV over there. And subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. Also, don't forget, if you want to support, if you want to become a member, we have a subscription model over at the Patreon. We got that Patreon. It's in the description and also in the comments. And it's patreon.com/YoungLionTV. We got a few tiers you can sign up for over there. Shout out to all the Young Lions that have been watching this evening. Paul, Moon, Mom, Tiffany, Ariana, Emma, Baruch was watching. Shout out to all of y'all, man. Thank you guys for supporting. Last but not least, we got the merch, Jatan.com. If you want to get music and T-shirts, all that stuff we have available on there so you can support. All that stuff goes back into what we're doing, guys. We're just trying to continue to build this community, build this culture. This is something that God has us doing. So we appreciate all of you guys. Thank you to Stan and Jake and John and Rachel again for being here and all of the contributions that y'all do every week. Shout out to Moan. Man, we love you, brother. We'll see you. We'll be back in here next week.
Young Lion go live, yeah. Young Lion